Hello, welcome today. I am Michael Smith. This is Awaken to Truth. Thank you for taking the time to stop by and watch this video. I'd appreciate it so much if you would please subscribe and hit the bell. The bell will alert you and let you know every new video that comes your way. All right, today we're going to take a look at something that I kind of presented in the last video. A blunder that I believe the Biden administration has made that could be catastrophic. I hope it's not, but it could be very impactful to the United States of America and maybe even the world for that matter. And that is the economic war that he has waged against Russia. To set the backdrop for this, many of you may be familiar, you may know, or you may have heard or you might be an expert in the fact that the United States currency, the US dollar, is the world reserve currency. And because we have that status, we being Americans or America, we have that status as the world reserve currency. We have a tremendous power that no other nation in the world has. We have abused that power in many ways. That power is the reason that we can run massive deficits over and over, print trillions of dollars, and our financial system stays somewhat solvent. We're certainly paying the price for it right now. We're seeing extremely high inflation. Prices are going up. People are struggling. Wages are not really keeping up. But the only reason the situation is as good as it is because we have been bestowed the honor of having the world reserve currency. Well, we took that and we are exerting that power against Vladimir Putin. I'm not going to get into the details of exactly how we're doing that. I think that probably would bore you. But what we're doing is we are waging economic war. We've gotten involved in this war, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't have gotten involved to some extent. I'm not saying that we shouldn't cut off Russian oil. In fact, we have a fantastic opportunity to broker a deal with the NATO allies and say, hey, let's forget the whole Russian pipeline. Let's cut that pipeline. We're going to be your pipeline. We're going to supply your oil because the European nations, they decided to cut off their own oil production to go green. The problem is we're not ready to go green. Same thing in the United States by leftist Democrats. They've decided it's time to go green. Hey, if going green is really good for the environment, then make the case and begin to slowly make the transition. And when it's ready, then you can begin to cut the production of oil, gas, and all of the essential resources that we need in modern day society. Cutting it beforehand is at best misguided, at worst completely and totally idiotic. But that is what we have done. However, I'm all for cutting into Russia's oil profits. I'm all for doing things that can be done reasonably to deter and to keep him from continuing this invasion into Ukraine. However, I believe that what we have done is over the top. We have released a financial atomic bomb, and we're probably not going to get to use this weapon again. And this is something that's not really being reported on by the mainstream media. You see some articles on it like this. They don't really go into any detail, but they're at least kind of outlining West targets Russia's defenses against ruble crash and bank run. Well, yes, the West is doing it, but by and large, it is the United States using the power of the US dollar. And so you see this headline here, dropping like a rock. I want to read something to you because I want you to see some implications that are taking place. It says, meanwhile, all right, right here, right there. Meanwhile, retailers have reported a surge in sales of consumer electronics and durable goods as people rush to spend their savings before they are rendered worthless by inflation. So we are taking the power of the US dollar and we are destroying the lives of Russian citizens. Why would we destroy the lives of Russian citizens? Why would we want to do that? Because we want to try and influence the Russian citizens to kick out Vladimir Putin and go with somebody else, whoever that may be. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad play. I don't know. Maybe we just need to stay out of it. But I'm not saying that that in and of itself is necessarily a bad play. What is a bad play is using Politico's words, or Politico's reporting, not mine, you see up here that this right here, this is a kind of financial nuclear bomb that is falling on Russia. Well, obviously, you cannot use nuclear bombs all the time. There has to be a well-justified reason to use a nuclear bomb. And the Biden administration just used the United States financial nuclear bomb against Russia in a conflict that does not even directly impact the United States. Why would they do such a thing? I don't know. Why would they do many of the things they have done? There is no reasonable, rational, or intelligent answer for it. The fact remains they've done it. This is a weapon that we have had in our quiver that probably only needed to be deployed in the most dire of circumstances, in a circumstance where we had no other option, and we absolutely had to do it for our national security interest, and maybe even for the interest of the free world. Who knows? We're probably never going to know, because Biden has employed this today, or not today, but in the last few weeks. So here's a couple of the problems with it. Number one, we have no direct national interest in this conflict. So why are we using such a cataclysmic weapon to fight it? Number two, we have signaled to far stronger enemies than Russia. Russia is certainly a power. They're a nuclear power, and they're very good with cyber warfare. They don't have a fantastic army. They're not a fantastic military power. They do have nuclear capabilities, which certainly has to be respected. But economically, they're not a power at all. They have an economy roughly the size of the state of New York. They're not a big player in the world, in the world economic playground. There is a big player by the name of China. This weapon probably should have been saved should we have ever gotten into a conflict with China that seemed like it was not able to be resolved. But China, you can be rest assured, is watching the moves that the United States is making. And China, no doubt, I believe, will begin, and I think already has, started to form a particular alliance to detach themselves and detach many others from dependency upon transacting in US dollars. What does this mean for you? Some of you are saying, Michael, I don't care about all of this geopolitics. I certainly don't care about all of the detailed financial stuff. What does this mean for you? This means if others follow China's lead, and if they begin to develop a way to circumvent transacting in US dollars, then something similar will happen to the US dollar as is happening to the Russian ruble. It will begin to significantly drop in value. We will have no recourse and no way to change it. And we may be the ones seeing our life savings evaporate before our eyes. We may be the ones running out, trying to get everything we can possibly get while the dollar still has some value before it completely falls through the floor. I hope this doesn't happen, but the Biden administration has certainly left the United States vulnerable, as they have used one of the biggest weapons that we have in a seemingly incomprehensible way. They've used it in a local conflict that does not even directly involve the United States and doesn't even directly involve a United States NATO ally. It simply involves Ukraine that borders NATO allies. Why has the administration chosen this route? Your guess is as good as mine. All we can do is hope that it doesn't end in a worst case scenario. All we can do is hope that we never need to try and employ this weapon again, because if we ever tried to employ it again, we can almost guarantee that the world at large is going to say, you know what, we're going to bind together and we're going to see to it that we're no longer dependent upon United States dollars because they are no longer trustworthy with the power of having that responsibility. Because as soon as you do something they don't want, they economically attack you and try to crash your currency and destabilize your entire economy. And that is a scenario that we do not want. I hope it doesn't happen. It's a possibility. There are certainly concerning things on the horizon. As I said in the last video, we need to be people who see the times, discern the times, understand the times, and then begin to formulate what we can do. I hope this was informative to you. Love to have you comment, subscribe, and continue to watch these videos in the future. God bless you, and we'll be back with another video very soon.